What if you could see an AI model think step by step, reasoning, solving problems, and even explaining its logic in real time? Imagine the power of this technology in your hands as an open source model with the potential to run locally on your machine. But is it actually worth using? In this video, we put this revolutionary model to the test to find out if it lives up to the hype. So, the DeepSeek team just released their new model, DeepSeek-R1 Lite Preview. This latest model is similar to OpenAI's O1 preview and marks another step forward toward AGI. Like OpenAI's O1, this model attempts to think in a way that's closer to how humans do. While no official benchmark results are available yet, the DeepSeek team has shared preliminary tests indicating that R1 outperforms Claude 3.5 Sonnet in areas like math and coding. It even surpasses the O1 preview in similar categories, showing impressive performance improvements. Let's take a look at some comparative results. This image highlights the infrascaling laws, how the DeepSeek-R1 model outshines the O1 model by getting smarter with more effort. While the O1 model stays stuck at around 44% accuracy, no matter how much time it gets, the R1 model keeps improving as it spends more time thinking. For example, the red and blue lines representing R1 climb steadily higher, reaching up to 66.7% accuracy, while O1 remains flat. This means the R1 model can solve problems more effectively by breaking them down and reasoning through them. The more thought tokens it uses, the better it gets, unlike O1, which can't take advantage of extra effort. Now let's see if these claims hold true and move on to testing it ourselves. Before we dive in, make sure to hit that subscribe button. It really helps us out and ensures you won't miss any of the cool tools and tips we've got coming your way. All right, so let's start our own testing. To access the model, we are going to visit the website, and they have provided the link to their own demo of the model, which is right here. You can click it, and then you'll be greeted with the login screen. Just like I am doing it, you can just log in with your Google account. After logging in, you'll be greeted with this interface, and here you see the Deep Think toggle. You're just going to press it and turn it on, which will enable this new feature. Okay, so here I am in Notion, and I have the test created. I'll just copy the first test and paste it, and we'll see what it makes. I am asking it to make a to-do list application for me. As you can see, like ChatGPT's O1 model, it has started thinking and makes those actions based on the plan it has laid out for itself. So, I think it just created the design for the to-do list application. We'll tell it to write the code as well. Okay, so it has given us the code. To preview it, I'm just going to paste it into VS Code, set it up, and open the HTML page so we can see what it created. Okay, so here I have opened the HTML file that it gave us, and it has created a very simple user interface, so let's go ahead and add a task. Here, we need to fill in our details to add the task. And as you can see, before I save, it has given us a validation error for the value, so that's good as well. Then it registers that as a task that we need to complete, and it has also added a delete button for it. Now we'll go back into Notion, mark this test as a pass, and move on to the next test, which is to generate SVG code for a butterfly. Okay, so now we are going to paste the prompt right here, and we will see what it generates. So, it has generated the SVG code for us. To preview this, we will just open an SVG viewer and have a look at what it generated. So here is the SVG viewer. We will just remove the existing code and put in our own code. And this is the butterfly that it made. Now, it looks more like a bug than a butterfly, but since it has generated the general shape correctly, I think we will mark this one as a pass as well. Okay, so now moving on to the next prompt, it is going to be a math problem, and this math problem also has the correct answer in the next column. So we will just give it the prompt and see if it calculates the value correctly. We will paste the prompt, and it will start to calculate based on the problem. It has correctly identified the amount in its thinking process, and now it is giving us the correct answer here as well. So it correctly solved this math problem too. Let's mark this one as a pass as well. So moving on, our next prompt is to build a library borrowing system in Python, and I have given it some requirements that need to be fulfilled in order to design a successful borrowing system. I will just paste the prompt here, and we will give it to it. So it is generating the Python code, and as you can see right here, it has generated it. So I tested out the Python code in VS Code, but it was not working as expected. So I'll mark this as a failure. I was really surprised to see that it had failed. I really hoped that it would complete this, because it's not that big of a task. But anyways, let's move on to the next task, which is to create the game of life in Python, a very famous game. So let's just copy the prompt from here and give it to the AI chat. All right, so it generated the code, and I pasted it here in VS Code. Let's see how it performs. Now you'll see this alternating behavior in the program's output. It confirms the simulation is functioning as expected. And it also ran 10 times as the LLM suggested. So we'll just mark this as a pass as well. Now on to the next prompt. We are going to give it a paragraph and ask it to summarize the text into 4 points. But I generated that paragraph with 3 main points in common, and I read it myself, and it's a very confusing paragraph. So let's see how it does with that. Okay, so I pasted the paragraph, and I am going to paste the prompt as well. It has started generating and thinking about how to divide it, and as you see, it is thinking like an actual human. For example, here you can see it writing. So my initial thought is this and that. This is how humans think, and it is mirroring that process. So it has generated the 4 points, and I'm just going to quickly read them. Okay, so I read them as well, and it did summarize them correctly into 4 main points. I think the points it gave me covered the whole paragraph, which itself was very confusing. Now let's move on to the next task, which is to design pseudocode for this algorithm. We'll just give it the prompt, and it has started to generate it. And it has made the algorithm, so let me see if it's okay or not. Okay, so now what I did was compare the pseudocode with the actual algorithm using other LLMs. It appears that it has also generated this correctly and created the correct pseudocode for the algorithm. So let's mark this one as a pass as well. All right, so that wraps up our testing of the DeepSeek-R1 Lite. As always, all the links used in the video will be left in the video description. In this round of tests, the model performed exceptionally well, passing nearly all tasks with ease. The only failure was a Python-based library borrowing system, which was surprising given its relatively simple requirements. However, the model excelled in other areas, demonstrating its capability in generating designs, solving math problems, summarizing complex texts, and even creating simulations like the game of life. For those interested, this model shows a lot of promise and is definitely worth exploring. Whether you're looking for coding assistance, task automation, or creative problem solving, it can handle a wide variety of tasks effectively. Now, as new AI models are constantly emerging, we're working on introducing a ranking system soon. This system will categorize and rate models based on specific criteria, helping you better understand their strengths and weaknesses. So, stay tuned for that update. In the meantime, give this model a try and see how it fits your needs. Well, that wraps it up for today. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep exploring.